Mornings when I think about you, yeah, I hit you like what you say.
Hey guys, this is Nona. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you guys like this look that I just achieved, go ahead and stay tuned and make sure you subscribe. As you can see, I already have my eyebrows and my eyes on, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the highlight and contour. First of all, we're going to be starting with the Clinique Daytime Turnaround Revitalizing Moisturizer in the golden shade. Gives a really nice warm glow. It's all over, so I definitely love it for the summertime. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that all over my face. So after we have our moisturizer on, we're going to go in with our primer. I am going to be using Makeup Forever's Mattifying Primer. I have oily skin, so I like to use anything that's mattifying because throughout the day I get really oily, especially my T-zone, so I just apply a little bit everywhere. And I tend to put a lot more in my T-zone because that just kind of helps me set throughout the day. So I love full coverage foundation, so I'm going to go ahead and use my MAC Studio Sculpt, and this is an NC43. It's a very high coverage foundation, and going in with my Real Techniques foundation brush, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of product on the back of my hand. I like to go in with my finger and strike through before I actually blend in, just to warm the product up on my skin. And taking that Real Technique brush, I'm just going to go ahead and blend everything in. Once I'm nice and blended in, I'm going to go ahead and start with my highlight. I'm going to be using the Cover FX Contour Kit. It is an ND. I love this one because of the fact that the colors are so rich. Your highlight is amazing. The contour is so deep right here. And the highlight shade is definitely a shade that isn't cakey. It's something that blends very well. And I'm going to go ahead and apply this shade, number 1. And I'm going to do that for my highlight. So using a Real Techniques pointed foundation brush, I'm going to go ahead and dig right in. And I'm going to do that upside down triangle under my eye. And this is going to go for both eyes. I'm going to go right under my other eye. I'm also going to go ahead and continue on to my chin, the bridge of my nose. Now I will say I don't highlight my nose every day. Sometimes if I don't have the time, I don't do it. Or sometimes if I want to go for a more natural look, I don't do it as well. But since we're going all out, we're going to go ahead and do it in. So now we have highlighted. I actually like to work in steps, so taking my damp beauty blender, I'm going to go ahead and blend everything out, starting with underneath my eyes. And I'm just kind of pressing and rolling. Because what we want to do here is we want to blend everything out. We don't want any harsh lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all over my face. And then we can do our contour. Alright guys, so like I said, I like to work in stages. So what we're going to do now is set the highlight, or what I like to call bake. So to bake, I'm going to be using Secret Brightening Powder by MERCIER. I've already dipped some into the cap. Taking my damp beauty blender, I am going to just press that right over the highlight. So while we're baking, we're going to go ahead and go right into our contour. Using the same pointed foundation brush, I'm going to take number 4 in the Cover FX Contour Kit. And I'm going to go ahead and mark out my contour. Now, I have an oval face shape, so I like to contour dramatically on my cheeks and my forehead because I have a little bit of a 5 head. So if you have a big forehead, this is a good trick. I just pick a little bit right here. Now, as I was saying earlier, with the contour kit with Cover FX, the colors are so rich, they're pigmented, so it's really easy to blend everything out. So if you're scared of playing with contour, especially if you're of a deeper skin shade, this is definitely one to play around with because you can blend them out to nothing. So I rarely contour my nose, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you guys. Alright, so now that we have the contour on, we're going to go ahead and blend it out. So I like to take the back end of the Beauty Blender, squeeze it a little bit, and I'm just going to go ahead and buff everything out. Disrespectful ass. Okay, so after we have our earring back in, we're going to go ahead and blend, blend, blend. Okay, so now that we're done baking, we're going to go ahead and wipe off the excess brightening powder. So I'm just going to take a brush that has no product onto it. This is the MAC 120 brush. It's a blush brush. I'm just going to use it because there's no product on it and wipe away that excess. And as you see, it's giving me a really nice soft finish. I love to be matte since I'm really oily, so definitely invest in this powder. In the event that you OD on the powder, sometimes like I do, I always go back over with a colored foundation powder, and that helps to set everything back a little bit more naturally. Alright, and like I said, I like my highlight a little brighter than the normal person, so this is the achieved look with just the highlight and a little bit of the contour. I'm actually going to go in now with a powder. This is the number 600 eyeshadow. Just to reinforce my contour just a little bit, we're going to be taking a blush brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and go over where I contoured already. Alright, so once I have my contour on, I'm going to go ahead and go with the blush using MAC Fever. It's a really nice, I would say, it's a burgundy blush. I love it because it actually accentuates my contour a little bit more. So I'm just going to tap a little bit on. And I like to start towards my ear and work my way forward to the apples of my cheeks because I like the harsh contour look, but when you diffuse the blush a little bit up, it kind of helps you give more of a chisel, but also it gives your face a little bit more dimension. Alright, so I like my blush as it is. So then we get to highlight. I am going to be using BECCA. This is Opal. This is the highlight powder. It is so shimmery. It looks like this. So we're going to do a little bit of that. And to apply that, I actually am just going to use, this is one of my brushes by MUFE. It is just a regular blush brush. Tap a little bit on. And it is very, very pigmented, so be careful when you use it. I like to work in layers. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that right on top of my highlight on both sides. And I'm going to work my way up to the brow bone, diffusing it a little bit so nothing looks harsh. Then I'm also going to concentrate that to the bridge of my nose to give me that nice soft glow. And then I also like to take whatever's left with the product and work that into my forehead. Okay, so we look like this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on a lip and we'll see the finished look. This is Urban Decay's All Nighter Setting Spray. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish off like I do with any routine. Couple of mists and voila, we are highlighted and contoured.